Hare Krishna, welcome everyone again to our Bhagavad Gita overview. We'll start with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuronmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padagamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नितनामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधार श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So we are on chapter 15th. So we'll take a quick overview of last section of Bhagavad Gita. So 13th chapter, Arjuna asked few questions. In response to that, Krishna described Kshetra, Kshetragya, Prakriti, Purusha and Jnana, Geya. And then in that, there was one seed verse that is called Bij Vakya or Mahavakya, that was 13.21. And in that, that is the seed of material existence, Bhoktritve Heturuchyate. And then 22 also described the same thing, Purusha Prakriti Sthohi Bhunkte Prakriti Jangunan Karanam Guna Sangosya Sadasad Yoni Janmasu. Because people, Jiva in this world, they want to enjoy. So therefore, they sometimes go to higher species and sometimes they degrade themselves to the lower species. So that is a seed. That seed is watered by the modes of material nature. Bhunkte Prakriti Jan Gunan. So these gunas, the modes of nature, they are nourishing the seed of material existence. That is described in the 14th chapter in great detail. And then in 14th chapter ended with Krishna telling that if you want to come out of these modes, transcend these modes, gunatita, then you have to practice devotional service. Mam chaya vyavicharena bhakti yogena sevate. Bhakti yogena sevate. Only by the process of devotional service, one can come out of these modes of material existence. And then Krishna ended this chapter by saying that I am the basis of this impersonal Brahman. Brahmano hi pratishtha aham. Then in this 15th chapter, which we are discussing today, started yesterday. So Krishna is describing the tree of material existence. And he described how this is an inverted banyan tree with the roots upwards and the branches down. Urdhva Moola Madashakam. The Vedas, they are the hymns. And there are so many twigs which are like the sense objects. The twigs make the tree attractive, makes the tree attractive. And because of the sense objects, living entity becomes attracted and wants to enjoy the so-called pleasures of this world. And then Krishna described the relationship of living entities and himself, Mamayavamsho Jiva Loke. Before that, he described how we can cut off this attachment to this material world, Asanga Shastrena Dridhena Chitva. And then he described about his own abode, Natad Bhasayate Suryo na Shashanko na Pavakaha Yadgatva na Nivartante Tadhama Paramam Mama. And then he said, I am the source of all the living entities. And then Krishna described that how he is the basis of all, whatever is happening in this world. He takes care of living entities, Jiva, at all the levels, at the cosmological level, terrestrial level, physiological level. And then in the 15th verse, Krishna says that I help living entities at the spiritual level also. I give my help in their spiritual endeavors. So we'll start with this 15th verse, very famous verse. Krishna is describing how he is the source of remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto matta smritirjnanam apohanam cha vedescha sarvairhameva vedyo vedanta kritveda videva chaham sarvasya cha aham. So Krishna is saying, hridhi sannivishto, I am situated in every living entity's heart. Mattaha, from me comes smriti, gyan, and apohanam cha. From me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness also. Vedesha sarvair ahameva vedyo. By study of all the Vedas, I am to be known. Because Vedanta krit veda videva chaham. Because I am the compiler of the Vedas, I am the compiler of Vedanta. So I know what is the result and the conclusion of the Vedas. So this is a very important verse which Krishna is talking about. So one time one person came and he said, अरे आप लोग बोलते हैं चाय नहीं पीना चाहिए, कहाँ लिखा है भगवत गीता में चाय नहीं पीना चाहिए? मैं तो बता सकता हूँ, यहाँ एक श्लोक है जिसमें भगवत गीता में भगवान बोलते हैं चाय पीना चाहिए, वो भी स्टोव पे बना के पीना चाहिए. अच्छा, तो डिवोटी बिकेम कंफ्यूज्ड, अरे ऐसा कौन सा श्लोक है भाई, मैंने भी नहीं पढ़ा है. तो इसे देखो 15वें अध्याय में दिया है, 15वें अध्याय का 15वां वर्ष, सर्वस्य चायम हृदि सन्निविष्टो, चाय बना के पीना चाहिए स्टोव पे. So sometimes people give all absurd understandings of what they think Bhagavad Gita is telling, what they think Krishna is telling. So now we'll try to understand this verse. So this second line is very important to be understood in this verse. Mattaha smritir jnanam apohanam cha. So what it means when it is described that Krishna is the source of forgetfulness. So because we have heard in the scriptures that sense gratification leads to misery, but when sense gratification comes in front, then we surrender. Just like in the case of Ajamil, when Maya tempts us, we forget all the instructions. So, and we forget Krishna at that time. And when Maya comes in front of us, we forget Krishna. So somebody may think, is Krishna responsible for our forgetfulness? So is he giving me forgetfulness so that I am not able to remember him? Actually, Krishna is not responsible, he is responsive. So that means according to our desires, Krishna responds. Because we don't have that strong desire to remember Krishna, so therefore Krishna reciprocates accordingly. Ye yatha mam prapadyante. So when we are doing our daily activities of material world, and when we are doing our direct activities of Krishna consciousness, we have discussed earlier also, when we are putting our full attention in the direct activities of Krishna consciousness, we are telling to Krishna that, oh Krishna, I want to remember you very sincerely, very seriously. Then Krishna gives the remembrance. So basically, when the sense objects comes in front of us, it is our responsibility how to respond. But if we start contemplating, if we see some sense object, some billboard, some poster we saw, and the persons, if we start contemplating, then the cycle starts. Second chapter describes, Bhagavad Gita says, dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kamah kamat krodho vijayate. So we start contemplating on the sense objects. So based on that, Krishna, he sanctions, because Krishna understands that this person, he wants to contemplate on these things. So therefore Krishna responds accordingly by giving us forgetfulness of those instructions. Whatever we have heard, whatever we have read in the Bhagavad Gita, in scriptures, in Bhagavatam, if we are not paying attention to those instructions, and if we start meditating on the sense objects which are there in this world, then Krishna gives that forgetfulness. So Krishna responds according to our desires. So it is our responsibility to cultivate desire that I want Krishna, and we don't have to contemplate on it. So because it is our free will, and we have to understand that Krishna is watching every desire of ours. And if we, so desire comes in everyone's heart, in everyone's mind, but our response determines whether Krishna will give remembrance of the instructions or forgetfulness of the instructions. If we start contemplating on those sense objects, then Krishna gives the forgetfulness of scriptural injunctions. So therefore, if we want to hold on to that principle of loving Krishna, then we have to make ourselves determined not to contemplate on sense objects, as Krishna says. And how we can become determined to not to contemplate on sense objects? By living a sinless life, as Krishna said in the 7th chapter also, yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punya karmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridhavratah. So bhajante mam dridhavratah. So those who are free from sinful activities, sinful tendencies, they can, practice bhakti with all the determination. So if we want to please Krishna, then we have to be serious. And then based on our desires, Krishna will respond, and he will give either forgetfulness of scriptural injunctions, or he will give forgetfulness of sense gratification. So if we become serious in Krishna consciousness, then Krishna will make us remember his beauty and glory. We will forget the sense gratification of this world, and we will remember, Krishna will give the remembrance of his own beautiful form, his own glory, his name, form, pastimes. So it is our responsibility. Krishna is responsive. He responds according to our desires. So we cannot blame Krishna. Oh, Krishna didn't give me intelligence. Krishna gave me forgetfulness. I could not remember the instructions given by which I heard in the scriptures, which I heard in the classes. Problem is on our part, because we are not determined enough. So the more we contemplate on the scriptural injunctions, the more we hear Bhagavad Gita, hear Bhagavatam, the more our knowledge of this Krishna conscious philosophy will become strong. The more we will understand that this place is a dukkha alayam. At present, our mind says, नहीं इतना भी बुरा नहीं है, ठीक है, बुरा है, इतना भी नहीं है, थोड़ा तो मजा है इधर. But Prahlad Maharaj says, Kutrashisha Shruti Sukha Mrig Trishna Rupa Kvedam Kalevaramashesha Virujam Viroha Nirvidyate Natu Jano Yadapiti Vidwan Kamanalam Madhulavai Shamayandurapai. So Prahlad Maharaj is saying, in this world, only pleasure is, whatever small amount of pleasure is there, that is only in imagination. Shruti Sukh. If somebody tells, okay, tomorrow morning there is a huge feast waiting, and mother is making huge feast, then just by hearing one becomes excited. But it is like Mrig Trishna. Mrig Trishna means mirage in the desert. The pleasure only remains in the imagination. जब तक सोचते हैं तब तक मजा आता है. That is the highest type of pleasure, highest amount of pleasure we get when we are thinking about that sense gratification. But when we actually engage in sense gratification, it is not so exciting. It is not what we had expected, what we had desired. So therefore, Bhagavatam again and again says, Soham Ninam Shulla Sukhaya Dukkham. Shulla Sukha. There is a very, very meager happiness in this world. There is some pleasure. We cannot say there is no pleasure. There is some pleasure, but it is very small. Shulla Sukha and Mahat Dukkha. Great distress, small pleasure. It is like Prabhupada gives example. If somebody gives you, sir, somebody tells, sir, please take this rasgulla, but you have to pay a price, and this is 1 crore, one rasgulla for 1 crore. How many of us will take that? For sure, rasgulla is sweet, it gives all the pleasure, but we know that this is too costly. We cannot afford this. So therefore, the more we hear about hear from scriptures, the sense gratification of this world is too costly. We cannot afford to do sense gratification because it takes us away from the process of bhakti. As Prabhupada would always say, Krishna consciousness and sense gratification goes ill together. So therefore, this matta smriti jnana apohanam cha, it is our responsibility. If we are desirous, if we are determined to remember Krishna, Krishna will give us remembrance. Ye yathamam prapadyante. Krishna has given that assurance. So it is up to us. And then he says, Vedesha sarvair hameva vedyo. So he's saying, ultimate goal of all the Vedas is to know Krishna. As we discussed about Jnanam, Geyam, Jnanagamyam. The knowledge, object of knowledge and objective of knowledge. So Krishna is saying, I am knowledge also, object of knowledge and objective of knowledge also. So therefore, because I am the compiler of the Vedas, I know what is written in the Vedas. I know what is the conclusion of the Vedas. So therefore, in the first part, first and second line, Krishna is saying how he acts internally. Internally, he gives remembrance, forgetfulness, knowledge. And second part, Krishna is saying how he acts externally. Externally, he gives the knowledge by which we can come to him. Because Krishna is very, very eager to bring us back to his place. Problem is we are not so eager. Madrik prapanna pashupasha vimokshanaya muktaya bhuri karunaya namolayaya. Gajendra is praying, Oh my Lord, Madrik, I have surrendered unto you, Pashupash. I am in an animal body. Please free me from this clutches of this crocodile. You are Muktaya, you are free, you can free me. You are Alayaya, you never delay. Krishna is working very, very hard to liberate us from this ocean of material existence. So therefore, it is our responsibility to also be determined. After saying this, now Krishna will speak the essence of the Vedas in 3 verses, and that is called 3 Shloki Bhagavad Gita. And by establishing this 3 Shloki, by speaking this 3 Shloki Bhagavad Gita, Krishna establishes his position to be the supreme. So in 16th to 18th verses of this 15th chapter, Krishna describes Sambandha Gyan. He gives knowledge of us, who are we, what is Brahman, what is Paramatma, and what is Bhagavan. So he gives the knowledge of all the various contents of our philosophy about Jiva, about Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Then, after knowing the Lord, how to develop relationship with the Lord, the process is described in the 19th verse. And then 20th verse is the result, that is a prayojan. So Chakravarti Pad also describes that 16th verse is telling about Brahman, 17th is telling about Paramatma, and 18th is telling about Bhagavan. So we'll go to the 16th verse. Krishna is saying, Dvavima Purushao Loke Sharascha Akshara Evacha Sharah Sarvani Bhutani Kutastho Akshara Uchyate. So here Krishna is saying there are 2 classes of beings in this world, Shara Cha Akshara, fallible and infallible. Shara Sarvani Bhutani. And in this material world, everybody is fallible. Kutastho Akshara Uchyate. Kutastho means in the spiritual world, everybody is, all living entities are infallible. So Prabhupada writes, oneness. So Kutastha means oneness in terms of quality. Qualitatively, they are same with the Lord. They are same with the Brahman. So Prabhupada writes, oneness does not mean they have no individuality, but that there is no disunity. Everybody is in sync with the will of the Lord. Everybody wants to serve the Lord, please the Lord. So that is about the Jiva. Then 17th verse talks about Paramatma. Uttama Purushastvanyah Paramatmeti Udaritah Yo Lokatrayamavishya Vibharti Avyaya Ishwaraha Uttama Purushastu Anyaha. And beyond this, besides these 2 things, 2 living beings which are described in 16th verse, there is another greatest living personality who is called Paramatma. Paramatme iti. Paramatma iti udharita, who is called Paramatma. And Yolokatrayama Vishya. And what is the job profile of this Paramatma? He has entered the three worlds and he is maintaining these three worlds. Vibharati Avyaya Ishwaraha. And he is himself imperishable. So therefore this verse is describing about Paramatma. 16th verse describes about Jiva, and Chakravarti Thakur says that this is describing about Jiva and Paramatma. So Akshara, Chakravarti Thakur says that this Akshara is Brahman. Sorry, Akshara is Brahman. Kshara includes all the Jivas. And Prabhupada is quoting Baldev Vidyabhushan. Baldev Vidyabhushan says that these two kinds of living beings are conditioned souls and the liberated souls. So these are the two commentaries of Chakravarti Thakur and Baldev Vidyabhushan. After describing the 17th verse, where he has described about super soul, now in the 18th verse, he describes that even higher than this Paramatma is Bhagavan. So he describes that Bhagavan is the Purushottama. Yasmaksharamati aksharad apicha uttamaha. Atosmi loke vede cha prathitah purushottamah. Yasmaksharam atito. Aham, because I am. So Krishna is mentioning about himself, Now he is talking about himself. Aham, I am transcendental, beyond this both Kshara and Akshara. Akshara means Brahman and Kshara means the living entities. Yasmat Ksharam Atitoham. Kshara means all the living entities. Aksharad Apicha Uttamaha. And I am beyond, greater than these Brahman platform also. Then Atosmi Loke Vedecha Prathitaha Purushottama. So therefore, I am described, celebrated in this world and in the Vedas as Purushottamaha. So here Krishna is clearly saying that he is that Purushottama. In 4th verse of this chapter also Krishna had said, Tatah padam tat parimargitavyam yasmin gatana nivartanti bhuyah tameva chadyam purusham prapadye. So there he had said, after getting liberated from this material world, you have to go to that place which is beyond this material world. And reaching that place, what you have to do? You have to surrender to the Purusha, Supreme. Who is that Purusha? Krishna had not described there. Now in the 18th verse, Krishna describes that who is that Purusha. He's saying, I am that Purusha. He is very, very clearly saying. So that he is the Supreme Purusha. He is the Bhagavan. So now, after describing himself to be that Purushottama, now he describes about the position and the disposition of the person who has assimilated the essence of these last three verses. After knowing that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, Krishna is Purushottama, what does a living entity do? So in the 19th verse, which is describing the Abhidheya process. Abhidheya means the process of developing our relationship with Krishna. And very clearly Krishna is saying, Sa sarva vid bhajati mam. Yo mamevam asammodo janati purushottama. Sa sarva vid bhajati mam sarva bhavena bharata. Whoever knows me, mam evam asammodo, without a doubt. Whoever knows me without a doubt, janati, know as Purushottama, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, after understanding that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, what does a living entity do? Sa sarva vid bhajati mam. So he engages in full devotional service. Sarva bhavena. With full devotional service, he engages in my in full consciousness of me, is engaging in my devotional service. And then in the last verse, Krishna says, so basically the result of knowledge which Krishna has given in this in this 15th chapter, and which he has given throughout Bhagavad Gita, the result of knowledge is devotion. So therefore Krishna is very clearly saying knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is not just informational, it is transformational. By hearing this Bhagavad Gita, one has to transform his consciousness, transform his desires, transform his inclinations to come closer to Krishna and perform devotional service. So that is the result. And that is what Krishna had said in the 10th chapter also. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattas sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. There also he had said the same thing. Whoever knows me, aham sarvasya prabhavo. I am all pervading. Mattas sarvam pravartate. Everything comes from me. Whoever knows this renders devotional service unto me. So therefore, the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita should make us devoted to Krishna. So then in the 20th verse, Krishna says, he is giving the Falashruti. Iti guhyatamam shastram idamuktam mayanaka etad buddhva buddhiman syat kritkrityascha bharatah. So Krishna is saying guhyatamam. This is the most confidential part of the Vedic scriptures. Guhyatamam shastra. So it is not a Guhya Shastra, not a Guhyatar, Guhyatamam Shastra. Idamuktam, whatever I have described you, O Arjuna, disclosed to you, Etad Buddhva, whoever understands this, he will become wise. Buddhiman Syat. वो बुद्धिमान व्यक्ति होगा जो ये समझने के बाद what he'll do? He'll practice bhakti. And if he practices bhakti, then Krita Krityascha Bharata, all his endeavors will achieve perfection. So therefore, Prabhupada writes in the purport that devotional service is a process of spiritual understanding. Wherever devotional service exists, material contamination cannot coexist. And in the last lines of the purport, Prabhupada writes, in this chapter, the first 5 verses, they describe the process of freeing oneself from the weakness of heart. Nirmana Moha, Jitsanga Dosha, and all these, 15.1 to 5. And then he says the rest of the chapter from 6th to 20th, they are describing Purushottama Yoga. So with this, Krishna ends the 15th chapter, and then Krishna is starting the next topic. So we'll see the connection between the 15th and 16th verse. So now again, we'll see 13th chapter describes the seed, that is the enjoyment propensity. 14th chapter describes the water of these seeds, that is the modes. Modes water the seed. What is a seed? Desire to enjoy. Then as the seed is watered, it becomes a huge tree. There is no beginning, na anto, na cha adir, na cha sampratishtha. This tree does not have a beginning, does not have an end. So the tree is described in the 15th chapter. Now, there are some fruits of this tree also. So in the 16th chapter, Krishna will describe 2 types of fruits which are there on this tree. There are some good fruits and there are some bad fruits. So good fruits means divine qualities and the bad fruits means the demoniac qualities. So this is what Krishna will describe in the Daiva Asura Sampada Vibhaga Yoga, the divine and demoniac nature. So that is the title of the 16th chapter. Divine and demoniac. Daiva Asura Sampat. Sampad means the wealth. So demoniac people think the demoniac qualities are their wealth. And the divine people think that good qualities, divine qualities are their wealth. So therefore, now first Krishna will describe the good qualities. And in first 3 verses, Krishna describes a series of good qualities. And then it is in the end of this, Krishna says, Bhavanti Sampadam Daivim Abhijatasya Bharata. All this is the wealth of godly people, starting from Abhay, fearlessness, Sattva Shamshuddhir, purification of the existence, Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti, getting established in the knowledge, Danam, charity, sense control, sacrifice, study of the scriptures. So many things Krishna is, so many good qualities, divine qualities Krishna is mentioning. So basically, all these qualities, they are coming from 3 things. Whatever behavior a person has, It comes from three things. They are shaped by our nature, nurture, and culture. So nature comes by our birth. That is birth, from birth. Based on our previous life's activities, previous conditionings, we are born with certain nature. And then secondly, the nurture, the nourishment which we get from the parents, it also transforms our behavior, it also shapes our behavior. And then also the culture of the people around us, they also change our behavior. So therefore we have to understand that all these qualities which Krishna is describing in this chapter, this 16.1 to 3, they are the divine qualities which are coming from good, coming from previous life's good actions, and they are given by our parents and the culture we are in. And Krishna describes all these series of qualities, and Prabhupada in the purport he categorizes all these qualities as to belonging to a particular varna and ashrama. First he says the sannyasis, their qualities is abhaya, they are fearless, they completely depend on Krishna, they don't, they are not fearful in any circumstance. Therefore in earlier times sannyasis, they could go to the forest also and do their tapasya, because they knew Krishna is there, God is there to protect me. As we have also heard our philosophy, mare Krishna rakhe ke, rakhe Krishna mare ke. So that is about abhaya. And then there are so many other qualities. Then he says this Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti, and these are the qualities of sannyasi. Then Danam Damascha Yagya, charity, sense control, and doing sacrifices. These are the qualities for a householder. Swadhyaya is a quality of a brahmachari, and Tapa is the quality of a Vanaprastha. Then he describes about Brahmanical qualities and so many other things. One of the qualities which I'll elaborate on is Apaishunam. Apaishunam means one should not find fault with others or correct them unnecessarily. So this is a very, very important quality which we have to develop. So if we don't have these qualities, then we should try to develop these qualities. We have to struggle and endeavor to develop these qualities, because these qualities makes one dear to Krishna. As 12th chapter describes in great detail, described after every verse, Krishna says, Yomad bhakta same priyaha, bhaktiman yas same priyaha, bhaktaste ativa me priyaha. These qualities make one dear to Krishna. Krishna loves everyone, but Krishna trusts few. Krishna trusts only those devotees who have divine qualities. And that is why we have to develop these qualities. One of that is apaishunam. We should not try to find fault in others. You know, the greatest tapasya in a devotee community is, what is the greatest tapasya? To keep the mouth shut, you know. To speak only when it is required, you know. When two devotees, they come together, one person tells to the, अरे पता है क्या हुआ, उस डिवोटी के बारे में सुना क्या तूने? नहीं सुना? अरे 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 कितना अज्ञान में, मैं बताता हूँ तेरे को. So this is how it starts. The urge to speak is so much that we think I am enlightening other person by, you know, telling some faults about this devotee. You have to understand, this world, everybody has faults. Kaler doshnidhi rajan. This world, Kali Yuga, is an ocean of faults. If from that ocean we are taking few drops, what is the big thing we are doing? So therefore, we should not become joyful in finding faults. Even if we have the service of correcting people, even if we are in a position to guide people and find faults in others, we should not do in a very, very joyful mood. We should find faults in a mood of very humble person, in a mood of, you know, our consciousness should be, I am doing this so that this person advances. It is for their benefit. It is not for pleasure, my pleasure. I am trying to help these persons. I am trying to benefit these persons so that he may not commit the same mistake again. Nectar of Instruction also describes one of the qualities of a devotee is Nindadi Shunya Ridhi Ipsita Sangalabdhya. This person, the devotee, is Ninda Adi Shunya. He does not rejoice in finding faults in others. And especially when we are finding faults with devotees, it is like a mad elephant offense. It may destroy our Bhakti Lata Bij. So therefore, we have to be very, very careful about it. And then there are so many other good qualities which Krishna is mentioning. And then from fourth onwards, Krishna describes the demoniac qualities. Dambho darpo bhimanascha krodha parushyameva cha agyanam cha bijatasya partha sampadamasurim. Dambha, darpa and abhiman. Dambha means when one does not have good qualities but still he boasts about them. That is dambha. Darpa means he has the good qualities and he talks about it. So that is the difference between dambha and darpa. Dambha means he has no good qualities but still he is boasting about himself. I have so many good qualities, even though he does not have any. Darpa means he has good qualities and he is talking about it. And abhiman means when one person is hungry for respect. Then krodha and parushya. Parushya means anger which is expressed through speech, harsh speech. When somebody speaks in a very, very harsh way, that is called parushyam. Agyanam cha vijatasya, ignorance. These are the qualities of a demoniac person. And Prabhupada writes a brilliant point in the purport. He says, in this verse, the royal road to hell is described. So if you want to go to hell, these qualities pave the royal road to hell. So then after describing this, Arjuna, he started thinking, am I also having demoniac qualities or divine qualities? I am killing people, I am killing soldiers. So am I demoniac or divine? So Krishna clarifies Arjuna's doubt in the next verse. Daivi sampada vimokshaya nibandaya surimata mashucha sampadam daivim abhijatosi pandava. So Krishna says, don't worry, O Arjuna. Daivi sampad, the persons who have divine qualities, they get liberated. Nibandaya surimata, asuri qualities, they bind persons in the material world. Ma shucha, O Arjuna, do not fear, you are born of divine qualities. Then, even after assuring Arjuna that you are born of divine qualities, Krishna sees that still Arjuna's lamentation has not gone. So now Krishna starts describing in detail the qualities of demoniac people. So in the sixth verse he says, Dvau bhuta sargau lokesmin deva asura evacha devo vistara shaprokta asuram parthame shrinu. So he says, in this world there are two kinds of beings, deva and asur, divine and demoniac. Then he says a very interesting line. He says, Devo he says, Devo vistarashaha. Oh Arjuna, I have described you this divine qualities in great detail. Somebody may wonder, but Krishna had spoken only 3 verses about divine qualities. Why Krishna is saying I have described you in great detail? Because Krishna has described about these divine qualities not only in 16.123, throughout Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has described the divine qualities. And where all Krishna has described the divine qualities? In second chapter, from 54th verse onwards, Sthita pragyasya ka bhasha samadhisthasya keshava. Arjuna asked, please tell me, O Krishna, the qualities of a Sthita pragya person. These are the divine qualities. Krishna goes into detail from 54th verse to 72nd verse. These are all divine qualities. Then he says in third chapter that third chapter 20th verse, he described about Janak Maharaj. He says, Asthita Janaka Dayaha Loka Sangraham Evapi. There are people like Janak Maharaj, Karmana evihi samsiddhim asita janakadayah. They are doing their work in a very, very ideal way. Then in the 4th chapter again, from 19th verse onwards, 19th to 23rd verses, Krishna described about again the qualities of a Nishkam Karma Yogi. Again in the 5th chapter, again in the 10th chapter, 7th chapter, 10th chapter is whole godly opulences. 12th chapter again, from 12.13 to 20, he has described about the good divine qualities. In 13th chapter again, from 13.8 to 12. Then 14th chapter again, 14.22 to 25, the symptoms of a gunatit person. Throughout the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has described about the divine qualities. That's why Krishna is saying, I have described about these divine qualities in great detail. विस्तार से इसका वर्णन कर चुका हूं मैं वो अर्जुन. अब मैं आपको आसुरी गुणों के बारे में बताऊंगा. आसुरम पार्थ मिश्रम. Just hear the asuri qualities, and then it starts the description of the demoniac qualities. प्रवृत्तिं च निवृत्तिं च जनान विदुरासुराः न शौचं न पिचाचारो न सत्यं तेषु विद्यते. So they do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Pravritti and nivritti, they do not know. Na shaucham, they have no cleanliness. Na apichacharo, na achar, they have no proper behavior. They have no cleanliness. Na satyam teshu vidyate, and they have no truth found in them. So this quality of cleanliness is very much compromised in the demoniac people. And in the hostels we see in abundance. Students, they don't even clean their rooms for years together. 2-3 साल में एक बार हाँ चलो आज रूम साफ किया. With a smile on this face, students they say, प्रभु जी आज रूम साफ किया मैंने. कितने दिनों के बाद? 1 साल हो गया रहेगा प्रभु जी. So this whole modern education system, it teaches all the demoniac qualities. And what are the demoniac qualities? It will be described in this chapter in great detail, and we can relate to it. What modern education system is teaching, what we are seeing in the students in current times. It is all demoniac qualities. So therefore, it says, na shaucham na pichacharo asatyam teshu vidyate na satyam teshu vidyate. So therefore, it is described, there is no truthfulness. So in the previous ages, this divine and demoniac qualities, demoniac people, they would stay in Satyuga, they would stay in different planets. The devatas, they would stay in heaven. The demons, they would stay in some other planetary systems. Then in Treta Yuga, they started living in different countries. Ravana was in Lanka, Ram and all the other associates of Lord Ram in Ayodhya. In Dwapar Yuga, these divine and demonic, they were staying in the same family. Duryodhan and Pandavas, Kauravas and Pandavas. In Kali Yuga, these divine and demoniac people, they are staying in the same body. We have sometimes demonic influence, sometimes divine influence. As in America, it is said, there is a good dog and bad dog in every one of us. So it depends on us, which dog we are feeding. The more we feed the good dog, it will become strong. If we feed the bad dog, it becomes all the more powerful. So that is what is described in the 7th verse. 8th verse, Krishna says, asatyam. And then he says, what is the conclusion of these people about this material world? Asatyam apratishtamte jagadaho ranishwaram aparaspara sambhutam kimanyat kama haitukam. They say this world is unreal, without any foundation, and there is no one in control. Anishwaraha. Anisha means no control. Then aparaspara sambhutam. Then why this world is there? Kama haitukam. This is produced just because of sex desire, and it has no other cause than lust. So in the 7th verse, Krishna has described about the activities. What are the activities of that persons? Pravrittim cha, nivrittim cha, janana vidurasura, na shaucham, na pichachar, na satyam. Activities. In the 8th verse, Krishna is talking about the mentality. So from activity, now in the 8th verse, Krishna is talking about the mentality of the demoniac people. They think this world is unreal, no foundation, no one in control. Only this, the only purpose of this world is enjoy life, only for sense gratification. So Jagadahur Anishwara, there is nobody in control. So before Newton, many scientists, they were theists. They had belief in God. They did all the experiments to prove the existence of God. And then Newton, he proposed the laws of motion, which led to the theory of deism. So we have to understand there is a theism, there is deism, and there is atheism. Theism means God is controller and creator. God created this world and is controlling this world. That is theism. Deism means deism. Deism means God is creator, but he is not the controller. And they give the example of a clock. After the clockmaker makes the clock runs on its own. The clockmaker is not controlling the clock. So similarly, Newton, he proposed the theory of deism. He said there is God, he has created this world, but now this world is running automatically. That is deism. Then came our famous Darwin ji, our Mahajan. So he's proposed the theory of evolution. One time a small child, he went to his mother and said, "Mummy, mummy, हम लोग कहाँ से आए हैं?" तो मम्मी बोली, "हम लोग भगवान से आए हैं बेटा." अच्छा ठीक है. So then he went to his papa, father. पापा बोले, "पापा पापा हम लोग कहाँ से आए हैं?" पापा बोलता, "अरे पढ़ा नहीं क्या? हम लोग बंदर से आए, डार्विन ने बताया नहीं." Darwin's theory, we came from monkeys. So he became confused. Again he went to his mother. He said, "अरे मम्मी आप तो बोल रहे हो हम लोग भगवान से आए, पापा बोल रहे हैं हम लोग बंदर से आए." मम्मी बोलती है, "दोनों सही है बेटा. My side is coming from God, father's side is coming from monkeys." So that was the Darwin's theory. Darwin proposed the theory of evolution, which is completely atheistic. No God in picture. It is all based on perhaps, maybe, all word jugglery. So these are completely pure demoniac qualities. Anishwaraha, there is no controller, no creator. Then why this world is there? Only purpose is to enjoy, fulfill the lusty desires. And then he says in the 9th verse, these demonic people, they are completely lost to themselves. Etam drishtim ashtabhya nashtatmano alpa buddhayah prabhavantyugra karmanah shayaya jagato ahitah. So etam drishtim, following such conclusions which are mentioned in the 8th verse, that this world is only for enjoyment, they are nashtatmano. They have lost their atma. They have lost sight. Alpa buddhayaha, because they are less intelligent. And then what do? Prabhavanti ugra karmanaha. They engage in various horrible works which are just meant for the destruction of this world. So that is their propensity, that is their action. Alpa buddhaya, they are very less intelligent. They think the purpose of life is to just enjoy. There is a famous phenomena of work, watch, and shop. People, they work, and then when they come home, they watch television, and they see so many of the advertisements, and so many desires are bombarded. Like the rivers entering, not the ocean, in a puddle of water. So it overflows, completely drowns the people, and then they go for shopping. Then in the shopping, as they are doing shopping, all the money gets exhausted. Again they go to work, then come back, earn money, come back, watch, spend. This is the cycle which is going on. Work, watch, and shop. WWS. That is worldwide stupidity going on. People are completely absorbed in sense gratification. And Prabhupada is talking about, Prabhupada in the purport, he writes about the weapons of mass destruction. Shayaya jagato ahitaha. So Prabhupada talks about nuclear weapons. Then after that, Krishna is talking about demoniac tendencies and their conduct. Kamamashritya dushpuram dambhamana madanvitah mohad grihitva sadgrahan pravartante ashuchivratah. So taking shelter of this dushpuram kama, insatiable lust, dambha man madanvitah, they are absorbed in pride and false prestige. Madanvitah, they are completely intoxicated with that. Mohad grihitva sadgrahan, and thus they are deluded and illusioned by the temporary things of this world. Pravartante ashuchivratah, and therefore they engage in all unclean work. So they take shelter. Kamam ashritya, they take shelter of lust. They think sex life is the solution to all the problems. And that is how the civilization is tuned into enjoyment of sex life. So they think civilized way means lust should be completely satisfied. They are completely devoted to lust. So that is what is the demoniac mentality. And then their attitude is described in more detail in the 11th verse also. Krishna says, Chintam aparimeyam cha. When these demoniac people, they are motivated by lust and money, they want to enjoy this world thoroughly. Automatically what comes is chinta. Chinta, not little, aparimeyam. They have immeasurable anxiety. कब तक रहता है ये चिंता? प्रलयांतम upashritah, till the last breath of their life they are completely anxious, miserable. Therefore they think kamopabhoga parama etavat iti nishchitah. They believe that kam upabhog, to enjoy senses, that is the param uddeshya, param goal of their life. Their life is only meant for maja karo, eat, drink and be merry, live life king size. That is the goal of demoniac people. So Prabhupada tells a story of a dying man. He had 3 sons, and as he was on this deathbed, he was not able to even open his eyes to see who all were there. So he called, बेटा, सबसे बड़े वाले बेटे का नाम लिया. He said, अरे ये है क्या? बोला, हाँ पिताजी मैं इधर ही हूँ. अच्छा ठीक है. और तेरा छोटा भाई? तो बोलता, हाँ पिताजी मैं भी इधर हूँ. और सबसे छोटा वाला? हाँ पिताजी मैं भी इधर हूँ, आप चिंता मत करिए. Then this old man becomes tensed. He says, अरे तीनों इधर हैं तो दुकान पे कौन है? दुकान कौन देख रहा है? So even in his last moment of his life, he is chintit about his shop. The chinta never goes. Chinta chita samayukta bindu matra visheshata sajivam dahate chita nirjivam sajivam dahate chinta nirjivam dahate chita. Chinta and chita, there is just the difference of bindu, one dot. Nirjivam dahate chita. Chita burns a dead body, but sajivam dahate chinta. Chinta burns a living person every moment. And this chinta is because of our desires and attachments. So therefore this anxiety is a primary feature of this modern civilization. In every aspect of life, people are miserable, anxious. And even in the mood of earning money, in the way of earning money, will always be miserable. Bhagavatam describes, arthasya sadhane siddhe utkarshe rakshane vyaye nashopabhoga ayashas trasas chinta brahmoninam. In the pursuit of anything related to money, sadhane, when you acquire that money, utkarshe, if you want to increase that money, rakshane, if you want to protect that money, vyaye, even if you want to spend that money, upabhog, and even if you want to enjoy sense gratification, there are 3 things you experience: chinta, tras, chinta and bhram. Intense pain, anxiety and illusion. So therefore demoniac people, the modern civilization is completely tuned in to increase our anxiety till the last breath of our life. Then in the 12th verse, Krishna describes the engagement of these types of people. He says, Asha Pashishatair Baddha Kama Krodha Parayana Ihante Kama Bhogartham Anyayenartha Sanchayan. Asha Pash, they are bound by network of Shatai, hundreds of thousands of desires. And in today's world, we can see advertisement industry is a desire producing industry. Unlimited desires, they come in, So this asha is like a pash, it is a noose. The more, and it keeps on increasing. The more we enjoy, the more thicker it becomes. Every strand gets, one small strand gets added after every enjoyment. The more we enjoy, the more this desire becomes strong. So this is like a network, asha pash shatai, hundreds and thousands of desires, because they are kama krodha parayana, and they are absorbed in lust and anger. Ihante kama bhogartham, and because of this sense gratification, they secure money even by anya yenartha sanchayan, even they secure money by illegal means. So therefore, when this kama krodha parayana, when kam is not satisfied, it becomes krodha. But when the kam is satisfied, it becomes lobha. So these are the outcomes of kama. When the lust is not satisfied, I want it, I want it, I want it. Why I am not getting it? Krodha. And if we, whatever we want, we get it, the result is I want more. So unfulfilled lust leads to krodha. Fulfilled lust leads to lobha. So that is a cycle which goes on. Then after describing this, from 13th to 15th verse, Krishna describes the thoughts of these demoniac people after they gain the wealth. Idamadhyamaya labdham, so much wealth do I have today. Imam prapsye manoratham, and I will gain more according to my schemes. Whatever schemes I have made, I will gain more wealth. Idam prapsye manoratham. Manorath means they are sitting on the chariot of the mind. Wherever their mind takes, they are going. Prabhupada tells a story of a man dreaming. So he dreams that he has got a pot of milk. It's all happening in the dream. So in the dream he gets a pot of milk, and then he goes to sell that, and he sells, and he gets a cow. And then from the cow he gets the milk, he sells the milk, gets more cows. So slowly the cows are increasing. So to take care of the cows, he gets the maid. And then to manage all that, he gets married, because wife will also help. Then all this is going on in the dream. So in the dream he's saying, I will make my wife do all the things, and my wife will have to obey me, and if she does not obey, I'll kick her. And in the dream he kicks, and he kicks the only pot which he had, and that pot breaks. So that is the manoratham which is going on. So this is then idam astidam apime, so much is mine now, bhavishyati punardhanam, and it will increase in future. Asomaya hatashatrur, he is my enemy, I have killed him, and there are others, I'll kill them also. Ishwaroham aham bhogi siddhoham balavan sukhi, I am the lord of everything, I am the enjoyer, I am perfect, powerful and happy. In this way, this person keeps on thinking, Adhyo bijanvanasmi, I am the richest, I am surrounded by so many wealthy aristocratic relatives, there is nobody equal to me. Koanyasti sadrisho, sadrisho means equal, there is no one equal to me, there is no one so powerful than me. Yakshe dasyami modishya, and then I'll do some charity also. For the aristocratic people, they do charity also in the religious activities, because they also want to become known as religious. They are not religious, but they want that fame of being religious. Oh, hum log mandir bhi jate hain, हम धर्म का काम भी करते हैं, but the purpose is I want name, fame, prestige, adoration, distinction. So therefore, yakshe dasyami, I will give charity also. Iti agyan vimohita. This way, the demoniac people is bewildered. Then Krishna describes the destination of these demoniac people. He says, Aneka chitta vibhranta mohajala samavrita prasakta kama bhogeshu patanti narakeshu chau. Aneka chitta, they are perplexed by various anxieties. Vibhranta, bhranta, they are completely perplexed. Moh jal samavrita. I'll just go back. In 12th verse, Krishna says, Asha Pash, that is a noose. The desire is like a rope. And so many ropes they keep on adding in that. Now, in the 16th verse, he's saying, Mohajal. It is a complete network. From rope to network. From noose of desire to a net of illusion. And famous net which everybody of us in this world is entangled is the internet. It completely traps the modern man. We are completely engrossed, absorbed in the modern media, social media, Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn, whatnot. Moha jala samavrita. So the more we get entangled, the more it traps us. Just like when the spider weaves the web, and the insect, when it gets trapped in the web, the more the insect tries to come out of the web, the more it gets entangled. That is the nature of the illusory power of this world. The more people, without knowing how to come out, the more they try, the more they go deep in the dark well of material existence. Because they think, because I want to be happy, the way to be happy is indulge in sense gratification. But they are not understanding that sense gratification of this world leads to misery. Yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkayonaya evate. So Krishna is saying moha jala. So they are bound by a network of illusions. Prasaktaha kama bhogeshu, because they are too strongly attached to sense enjoyment. Bhogeshu, kama bhogeshu. Therefore the result is patanti narake ashucho. They fall down to hell. So these are the qualities of demonic people. These are the destination of demonic people. And then Krishna says, these demonic people, they are very, very hypocrite in their nature. They show that they are religious. They make a show of religion also. As people, they say, अरे हमारे भी गुरु हैं, हम भी मंदिर जाते हैं, but हम अपना घर का भी सब ख्याल रखते हैं, हम आपके जैसे नहीं है. We balance everything. You are spending whole day in temple, but we are doing so charity also, social work also, and we are doing sense gratification also. ऐसा रहना चाहिए. Not like you. So Krishna is saying these people, they are atma sambhavita sabdha dhanmanam madanvita yajante nama yagyaiste dambhena avidhi purvakam. Atma sambhavita sabdha, they are self complacent, impudent, dhan man madanvita. They are deluded by wealth and prestige. Yajante nama yagyaiste, they perform so many sacrifices for the name's sake. They do not do nam yagya, they do yagya for nam. Whatever yagya they do, whatever sacrifices they do for नाम. हम मंदिर में इतना डोनेशन देंगे, लेकिन यहाँ पे बड़े अक्षरों में हमारा नाम लिखा जाना चाहिए. So that is their tendency. Yajante nama yagyaiste. They are not doing it to please the Lord. They are doing it to increase their name, fame, and prestige. Dambhena avidhi purvakam. They do it without following all the rules and regulations. They are doing just for the fame. Then ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodham cha samshritaah mamatma paradeheshu pradvishantobhyasuyakaah. So they are bewildered by ahankar, false ego, strength, bala, darpa, pride, Kam, lust, krodha, anger. These demonic people, they are bewildered by all these things. And then, they become envious of me also. Mam Atma, I am staying in their heart as the Supreme Personality, as Paramatma. They become envious of me also. Pradvishanto abhyasuyaka. So therefore, Krishna says, I am the supreme well-wisher of everyone. Sarvasya chaham ridhi sannivishto. I give them knowledge, remembrance, forgetfulness. I am residing in everyone's heart. Bhoktaram yagyatapasam sarvalokam maheshwaram suridam sarva bhutanam. I am the best well-wisher of everyone. But these demonic people, they become envious of me also. Like that. Then Krishna, describes how does he treat these demoniac people. तानहं दुषत क्रूरान् संसारेषु नराधमान् क्षिपामि अजस्रम् अशुभान् आसुरेष्वेव योनिषु आसुरीं योनिमापन्ना मूढा जन्मनि जन्मनि मामप्राप्यैव कौन्तेय ततो यान्त्यधमां गतिम्. So very heavy words Krishna is saying. He says, Tanaham, these people, I cast them into perpetually into ocean of material existence because they are dushataha and kruran. They are envious and mischievous. Prabhupada translates kruran as mischievous, not cruel, and there is a reason. I'll tell. So Krishna is saying those who are envious and mischievous and they are lowest among the mankind. Shipami ajastram ashubhan, I perpetually cast them into ocean of material existence, life after life. And then asurim yonima panna, and then these people, they take birth in the demonic species again and again. And therefore mama prapyeva kaunteya, they cannot attain me, O son of Kunti. They go to the lowest of the destinations. So why Krishna is saying that, I put them, is Krishna, frustration saying that these people, they're not following my instructions. So out of grudge, personal grudge. If we give some instructions to somebody out of all goodwill and they do not even care to listen, and on top of that they give gully to us, then we will, lash back and say, you go to hell. So is Krishna also doing the same thing? Actually, it is not the same thing. Krishna is speaking these words in a mood of concern. Just like, father, he tells his mischievous son, if you do this mischief again, I'll throw you out of the home. So father is not going to do that. But father is telling all that just to make the son understand, please listen to my instructions. This is for your goodwill. You will be benefited by following these instructions. Because Krishna is again and again described in Bhagavad Gita how he takes care of every living entity in this world. He says, even if somebody is most fallen, I take care of them. Striyo Vaishya Tatha Shudra Tepi Anti Paramagatim. Apichetasi Papebhya Sarvebhya Papakrittamaha. Even if somebody is most sinful, I take care of them. And Krishna does not leave anyone. So therefore, Krishna is in a very, very gentle way saying, please follow the instructions, because if you are not following the instructions by the laws of nature, you will be put into lower species of life. Krishna does not personally, out of grudge, he says, isko dalo, isko narak mein bhejo. No, Krishna is not like that type of person. Krishna says, if you don't follow, you will be forced to go to hell by the laws of nature. And therefore, after describing this, Krishna says that there are three specific gates to hell, and there he says lust, anger, and greed. These are the three gates to hell. And in 22nd verse he says, one who has escaped these three gates to hell perform acts conducive to self-realization and gradually attains the supreme destination. So whoever gives up these demonic tendencies, he attains the highest destination. And then he says the importance of performing actions according to the scriptures, and what is the result of not following the scriptures. So he says those who do not follow the scriptures, they do not achieve happiness either in this life nor in the next life. Yes, shastra vidim utsrijya vartate kamakaratah na sa siddhim avapnoti na sukham na param gatim. They do not achieve perfection or happiness or supreme destination. Therefore, O Arjuna, please follow the instructions of the scriptures, because if somebody follows the instructions given by the scriptures, then all his endeavors will achieve perfection. And with this, Krishna ends this 16th chapter. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. If anybody has any questions, they can put on the chat. So there is a question. We are mixed qualities of both Asura and Daiva, Devi and Asura. What is our destination? And Devi is less, more Asura, Asuric. As Kali Yuga, both Asura and Deva is one body. Yes, that is there, but because we are not flaming, not increasing and fanning this demonic tendency, we have come to Krishna consciousness. We are practicing the words of God, following the scriptures. Yes, Shastra Vidim Utsrijya, but we are not giving up the scriptures. We are completely following the scriptures, following the words of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. So therefore, in due course of time, for sure, the demonic qualities will go away, and the divine qualities will come. Pravishta karna randrena swanam bhavasaroruham dhunoti shamalam Krishna salilasya yatha. Just like in autumnal rains, all the dirty things which are accumulated, they get cleansed off by the rains. When the sound vibration enters the ears, it purifies the mind and heart of all the contaminations. So all the demonic qualities, they go away. Punanti te vishay vidushitashayam vrajanti tacharana saroruhantikam. Bhagavatam describes it. Krishna Katha purifies the polluted aim of life. Vishaya vidushitashayam. There is so much of the contamination which is there in everyone's heart. But chanting the names of the Lord, following Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam purifies our polluted aim of life. And for sure, we will also become purified and go back home, back to Godhead. Vrajanti tat charana saroruhantikam. For sure, we will reach the abode where Krishna is residing. Like that. 16.15. Upon gaining wealth, demonic mentality people given charity to religious activities to get name and fame. So even if their intention is not pure, do they get some pious benefit? Yes, surely they get the pious benefit for such charity. Because in Kali Yuga, basically, whatever we do physically, it is counted. Mental things are not counted so much. As first canto describes that kushalani asu siddhanti netarani kritaniyat. So kushalani ashu siddhanti. If somebody is just thinking of doing good, he gets that advantage. He gets the benefit. Netarani kritaniyat. But if somebody is not doing any bad activity, he will not get the reaction. Only by doing some sinful activity, he will get the reaction in Kali Yuga. So even if somebody is doing charity with a wrong consciousness, but because he is still performing charity, he'll get the advantage of that charity for sure. And of course, because he has not pure intentions, he will get some reaction for that also. Good and bad reactions, they both come. So they do not cancel each other. That we have to be clear about. If a living entity suffers in hell greatly, but does not remember that in the next human birth, does not remember that in the next human birth, and commits sins again, what is the use of that punishment, as we don't remember our previous births? Yes. So we have to understand the persons, the living entities, whatever sinful activities they have done in this life, a part of that sinful activity, the reaction they suffer in the hell, and then the remaining they suffer in the next life. So scriptures, these are the words of God. Krishna, as a very, very merciful father, he is always telling his children, don't do mistake, don't do mistake. If you do mistake, you'll be punished. He has given scriptures. He keeps on sending saintly people. He comes himself to tell the people what is the right way to act in this world. And why we don't remember? Because if we remember our whatever punishments we went in hell, it will be difficult for us to live sanely in this world. All of us have this experience. There are so many instances in our life when we suffered so much. That time we were so very miserable. Just imagine, after few days, few months, the memory fades away and then we come back to normal. Just imagine if Krishna gives that memory, keeps that memory of the miseries intact. We'll be miserable. We will not be able to live properly. So therefore, that is the mercy of the Lord, that we don't remember miserable things, whatever we suffered. But Krishna, out of his mercy, he is telling again and again, look, you have suffered in the hell many times, although you don't remember. Now, please don't do those things, because you will suffer again, So the fact that we forget things is the mercy of the Lord, Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. That is another aspect of forgetfulness. Krishna makes us forget all the miserable things which we have gone through in our previous lives and this lives. So that's why it is our responsibility to take the words of the scriptures, words of God, words of saintly people, and follow them. Therefore, Krishna says in 3rd chapter, Kim karma kima karmeti kavayopyatra mohitah tatte karma pravakshyami yajñatva mokshase shubhat karmano hyapi bodhavyam cha vikarmanah akarmanascha bodhavyam gahana karmano gati. Krishna is saying, oh Arjuna, you should know what is karma, what is akarma, and what is weak karma, because it is very difficult to understand which action led to which karma, which reaction, So therefore, better you should know what is good action, what is bad action, and what is inaction. So therefore, it is our responsibility to read Bhagavad Gita, read Bhagavatam, because ignorance is no excuse. And we have heard this example n number of times. If somebody comes from the village and gets in a train without buying a ticket, and if TC comes and asks, ticket किधर है भैया? बोला अरे मैं तो बैलगाड़ी में घूमता था गांव में, कोई टिकट नहीं मांगा मेरे को, कौन सा टिकट भाई? So he will not be relieved. The policeman, TC will catch him, fine him, and he'll say, इस बार भरोगे ना, next time बराबर याद रहेगा. So ignorance is no excuse. So better know the principles so that we don't, commit that same mistake again. In the Ashtakut system of astrology, there is one category Gana, okay, and those who are, I'm not sure about these astrological things. Maybe you can consult some of our astrologers who are into these things. Devtagan, Manushyagan, Rakshagan. There is one devotee, Pavaneshwar Prabhu. He has written a whole book on Surya Siddhanta. That book is on astrology. Maybe you can ask him. I'm not sure about this. We'll take the next question. What about the people who commit crimes and in order to overcome the sins, give donations to the Lord? They suffer and enjoy both. So, negative and positive, they don't cancel each other in the nature's law. If somebody is doing one murder and then he is giving some charity, so he'll suffer for the murder also, and he'll get some enjoyment for the charity also. So both, he has to suffer the reactions of the both things. Demoniac peoples go to hell perpetually, so they don't have any hope in future? No. So when Krishna is saying, Tanaham dushita kruran sansareshu naradhaman shipam yajasrama shubhan ashurishveva yonishu asurim yonima panna mudha janmani janmani. So you have to understand this is the mood in which Krishna is saying that, they suffer life after life. Janmani Janmani means again and again take. So this hell means Krishna is not talking about only hell. He is talking about hellish conditions of this material world. There are, even in this human society, we see some people are in a very posh localities, some people are in a very very third class localities. For a person who is staying in a Malabar hill, the person who is staying in a slum of Mumbai, it is like hell. So Krishna is saying those people who are not following these principles, they will again and again take birth either in demoniac species or in the hellish conditions of life. But Krishna is not giving up on anyone. There is a law of nature which is acting. After a person gets the suffering of whatever actions he has done in his past life or present life, if he corrects himself, does not commit same mistake again, then he will come out of it. He will be promoted to a higher status of life. But the problem is these demonic tendencies, they keep on perpetually increasing. As Krishna says, moha jal, they are completely bound in this network. So therefore we have to understand that Krishna is talking about these demonic qualities so that we should know what I have to do and what I don't have to do. Therefore Krishna is saying in 23rd verse, you can see, Shastra vidhim utsrijya vartate kama karata. If we are just thinking, if you're just working for the sake of sense gratification, we will not be happy in this world. Krishna is saying again and again in this Bhagavad Gita, don't try to work for sense gratification. Bhagavatam also says, Neha yat karma dharmaya na viragaya kalpate na tirthapat sevaya jivan napi mritopisa. Your karma, if your karma is not leading to dharma, if your dharma is not leading to renunciation, and if the renunciation is not leading to devotional service, jivan api mritopisa, living life is as good as dead, being dead. So sense gratification, dharma should be only practiced for self-realization. Dharmasya hi apavargasya. Apavarg means liberation. Dharma should not be practiced for sense gratification, for earning money. Dharmasya hi apavargasya na arthasya arthaya kalpate. Narthasya dharma ekantasya kamo labhaya smritah. The practice of dharma should be done only for liberation. It should not be done for sense gratification. And if somebody gets wealth by the practice of dharma, it should be used for developing self-realization and not for sense gratification. Like that. Okay, yeah, next. Sadhana siddhas, are sadhana siddhas also considered akshara? Yes, akshara means the condition, liberated living entities. So there are kripa siddha and sadhana siddha and nitya siddha also. So sadhana siddha means those devotees who by the practice of sadhana bhakti, they become liberated from the bondage of material existence and they become situated in the spiritual world. Then nitya siddha means and kripa siddha means those devotees who apparently did not do any devotion. Just like example is Bali Maharaj. We do not hear about him practicing any devotional service, any limb of bhakti, but still he got liberated. Kripa, that was the mercy of the Lord. Kripa siddha, So that was the mercy of the Lord that he gave liberation, he gave highest destination to Bali Maharaj. And nitya siddha, those who are always liberated. So sadhana siddhas are also liberated living beings. As Krishna says, Yad Gatvana Nivartante, but as free will is still there and jivas by nature are fallible, then how they can't fall down? Even if they go to the spiritual world, the memories of the suffering of the material world is there. Therefore, whenever again the thought comes of going to the material world and enjoying the miseries of this material world, it makes them aware. Oh, last time I had done that mistake. I suffered a lot. Millions of lifetimes I had suffered. Therefore, I'll not do that same mistake again. And therefore, Krishna says, Yad Gatvana Nivartante. What if demonic people eat prasad? Will they get human body or hellish body? I'm not sure, but definitely they'll get a better form. If they get, if they eat sufficient prasad and get the mercy of the devotees, they may come to human form. Even if, or even if they get a lower species body, they will for sure get the results of this doing this sukriti, that is bhakti unmukhi sukriti. So that is our job, to increase the sukriti pious credits of the people, which will bring them to Krishna. Even if somebody just glorifies the taste of prasad, that is the pious credit which is sufficient to bring him closer to Krishna. So that is what we have to do. It is said that human birth is very rare. Then why are there more demoniac mentality humans? Yeah, that is there. Human birth is very rare, but still, uh, there are 4 lakh species of humans. And in what is the criteria for these 4 lakh species? It is based on the qualities these humans have. So, of course, human life is very, very rare, but still, in the human form, to perform spiritual activities is not so easy. So therefore, those who are getting a chance to practice spirituality in the human form, they are most rare souls. As I discussed earlier also, human form is rare. Even more rarer than the human form is the chance to come close to spiritual life. Even more rarer than that is getting getting this understanding that Krishna is the supreme Lord. Even more rarer than that is getting connected to a bona fide sampradaya. Even more rarer than that is getting connected to a sampradaya in which Krishna Prem is being taught. That is the highest. Even more rarer than that is, the time which we are now in, where Krishna has come just 5,000 years back. Mahaprabhu has come just 500 years back. So there are also gradations of, fortune. Human birth is rare, but if somebody is not taking advantage of that human form, he is as good as animal. He is called as Atmaha. He is the killer of the soul. Means he is killing the spiritual inclination. It's like that. Why specifically only 3 qualities are called as gateway to hell? Because these qualities, they form the basis of all the other qualities. All the other demonic qualities, they sprout from these 3 basic qualities. These are like the mother of all the other qualities: kama, krodha, and lobha. So from these, all the other qualities, they automatically come. So that's why these are called the gateway to hell. How should devotees deal with the demonic people, especially at workplace? Oh, one time Narad Muni was preaching to a snake, and he said, "Why you are hissing? Why you are biting everyone? Don't bite. You're biting everyone without a cause. Please don't bite." So the snake also became a sincere disciple. He said, "Okay, whatever you say." So next time, follow up के लिए Narad Muni came back. Follow up के बिना कुछ नहीं होता है आजकल. So he came back. He saw this snake was in blood. He said, "What happened?" So the snake said, "You only told me don't bite." So the people, they understood that this snake is not biting. So they started, pelting stones on me. So the Narad Muni said, told you not to bite. I didn't tell you not to hiss. So the principle we have to understand is, when we are working in the outside world, we should be very, very firm. We should not be seen as somebody who can be exploited. Humility does not mean that anybody and everybody can exploit us. We should be very, very firm in our decisions. And when it comes to the dealing with outside people, we should be very, very firm in demanding our rights, because we should know why we are doing this. We are doing our job, we are doing our services to please Krishna, so that I can whatever Lakshmi I am getting, I will use it in Krishna's service. I'll use it in making my family Krishna conscious. So this is our service. So we don't have to become, artificially humble, thinking that no, I am a devotee, now I cannot say anything. So there was one devotee, he started coming to Krishna consciousness, and he heard this, that Kaviraj Goswami is saying, Jagay madhay hoite muishe lagishta purishera kit hoite muise lagishta. Jagay madhay hoite muise papishta purishera kit hoite muise lagishta. Kaviraj Goswami is saying, Jagay madhay, I am more fallen than Jagay madhay. In fact, I am more fallen than a worm in the stool. So he thought, Arey wow, yaar, what is the way of expressing humility? So he thought, maybe if I go to my boss and if I express my humility in this way, he'll appreciate. He went and he told the boss, I am so fallen, I am more fallen than worm in the stool. And all the office members, colleagues came to know that. Everybody started making fun of him. Ye to stool ka kida hai. So that is not the humility which scriptures they tell us. Rup Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, they were, the best of all the devotees. At the same time, they were best of all the politicians. So we should know, in the outside world, many times we may have to be diplomatic, but when it comes to being with devotees, we should be very, very simple. So workplace, we have to be firm. People should not have this impression about devotees that इनके साथ कुछ भी किया चलेगा, ये लोग तो कुछ बोलते नहीं है, ये तो एकदम गाय लोग हैं. No, we should be seen as very, very firm people. As Prabhupada said, we should be lion at the chase and lamb at home. When we are with devotees, we should try to be as humble as possible. And when we are with outside world, we should be humble. We should not criticize somebody unnecessarily. But if somebody is stamping on our foot, then we should not just tolerate, because we are doing our service not for our sake. We are doing it to help in the activities of Krishna consciousness. We are doing it to take care of the family so that they may also become Krishna conscious. So our consciousness is very, very important. Why we are doing what we are doing, like that. And there are many more details to that. We can discuss later also. Can you please repeat in what all shlokas of Bhagavad Gita Lord describes godly qualities? So in the second chapter, 2.54 to 72, the qualities of Sthita Pragya person. Then third chapter, Krishna talked about Janak Maharaj. Then he has described about this in fourth chapter from 19th to 23rd verse onwards about this Nishkam Karma Yogi. Then again in the 10th chapter describes all godly opulences. 12th chapter from 12 to 12.8 to 20, 12 or 13 to 20, all the godly qualities are described. Then 13.8 to 12, all the qualities of knowledge are described. Then 14.22 to 25, all the godly qualities are described by which one can transcend the modes of nature. So there are all these things. What is collective destiny? Corona is affecting, yeah. So nature has her own way of working. When it comes to talking philosophically about Corona situation, we should be very, very clear that people, they are suffering their own karmic reactions, and that is called collective karma. Just like if somebody is going in a flight and flight crashes, so it is a collective karma. That is the nature's way to act. Nature will bring all people who have a similar type of karma, and they will be punished. But when it comes to dealing with those people who are affected, we should be very, very sympathetic. We should be affectionate. We should try to help them in whatever way possible. We should never ever speak harsh philosophy, because in 18th chapter, one of the verses, Krishna says, the austerities of speech. What is the austerity of speech? Some may say, I am speaking the truth. मुझे क्या मतलब, उसको बुरा लगा तो मैं क्या करूं, मैं तो सच ही बोल रहा था. Krishna says, Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat. Our speech should be anudvegakaram. It should not disturb people. It should be true, but it should be for the welfare of people. So that we should be very, very careful now. When we are speaking about the philosophy to the people outside the world, we should understand philosophically that yes, we are suffering our own karma. Nobody is to be blamed. But if we see somebody suffering, then we should not tell that this is your karma, you are suffering. That will be a very, very harsh thing. That is not a devotional quality. The foremost quality of a devotee is he is compassionate. So as a devotee, we should show compassion, show mercy to the people who are suffering in whatever way possible, by giving charity or by speaking nice words. So that's how we have to deal with this situation. If someone's income is from bad source, but he is donating all that income to charity, I don't think so. If somebody is earning from bad source, he will donate everything to institution for a charity. No, he will do some charity so that he will get some pious credit also. So he will get, again, the principle remains the same. He will get the reaction of both things, all the bad things which he is doing and the charity which he is doing. So he'll get the reaction of both things. Is that institute will be affected due to accepting? Yeah, this is a very important question. So that is a institutional question which we should be theoretically knowing this. I'll give you an example. This our NVCC temple, Pune temple, when it was getting built, one person, he came, he was running a factory of chicken poultry farm, and he was very rich billionaire. So he came and he said to one of our leaders, he said, I can sponsor your whole temple construction. And he brought blank check also. Please take this money. But the leader of the temple, he did not accept that money. He said, this money is tainted with blood. Very, very sinful. We cannot accept it. So therefore, Prabhupada writes in Nectar of Instruction, as a principle, we should not accept charity from Mayavadis and sinful people also. Because many times we may not have the capacity to digest the sin. If somebody is giving charity and we know that this is not from the right source, we can use it directly in the service of Lord. Just like, for making garlands for the deities, or making some dress for the deity, or jewelry for the deities. Deity is God. Krishna can digest anything. But many times it is unavoidable because we don't know from where the charity is coming. So we should know that charity should come from proper channel. It should come in the accounts department, and then accounts department, whatever they decide, we have to follow. So at least we become transparent. If something is coming to us and we don't know the source, then better don't take the chance of utilizing that money in any other cause, in any cause other than direct deity services. Better give donation to the temple saying that please use it in the direct service of the deities. That will purify the money and that will save the devotees also. How to use internet without getting entangled? A big question. There are so many apps which are there now. There are some parental control apps. You can make some other person your parent, and whatever you are seeing on internet, he will come to know. So in that way it will avoid, because we know, this person is seeing, he gets all the report whatever I am doing on the internet. So that is how we have to understand that. And for a devotee, we have to be very, very careful. One of the qualities of a devotee is avyartha kalatvam. Never waste time, because time is short. We have a limited amount of time. For non-devotees, they don't have to chant their 16 rounds. They don't have to read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. They have lots of time available with them. As devotees, we have very limited time. and in that limited time we have to do so many things. So therefore we have to be really careful, attentive, not to waste even a single moment. Fill your day with so many Krishna conscious activities that you don't have time for Maya. And if we have to use some internet, we should use it for basic essential things, because WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, all these things, if we analyze these things, almost 99% of the times when we are using these things, we don't actually need them. It is just the temptations of the mind. How many times do we unlock our phone in a day? How many times we check, अरे यार कुछ notification ही नहीं आ रहा इतनी देर से, कुछ तो गड़बड़ है, we become disturbed. So therefore we have to be very, very careful. We have to use the technology, not used by the technology. So practically, if you want to be protected from the bad things on the internet, make somebody as a parent so that he has a control over whatever we are doing on the internet. And personally, internally, we have to increase our determination. So external and internal both are required. We have to increase our determination, increase the standards of sadhana, so that Krishna will give the strength. Dadami tesham satati yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakum dadami buddhi yogam. Krishna will give the intelligence by which we will not get entangled in all these nonsensical things. Okay, thank you very much. We'll stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.